give Edwin an opportunity to tell you about himself.
All right, so my name is Edwin. I heard about this group through Alani. He hit me up, and then I was very interested just because I've read some of Napoleon Hill's work about having a mastermind group and how it is very important for you to grow and succeed in whatever it is, whatever goal that you're trying to attain. Um, I'm very actually happy to be here because I know that this is going somewhere. I know that the mission is going to go wherever it is that needs to go. But besides that, my ultimate goal in life is it's actually I took upon myself to literally just I want to make this world better. I want to before I leave this earth, I want to make sure that I've done something to help, even if it's like just a couple people's lives, or even if it was just one person's life, something to help them succeed, something so that they can become successful, so that they can attain their goals and their desires. Because a lot of people don't ever end up going for their dreams and desires because they feel like they can't make it, either because they've been taught that, either like through a parent who's always been taught that through their parents, or in school you hear people like teachers telling you to become realistic and go for a job rather than your actual goals and dreams, which is what happened with me as a kid. So I never actually, like, I always focused on a job, and I've had multiple jobs since I was 16, 26 now. And now I'm finally going for everything I want, and it's possible. It's just a matter of changing your mindset, going after what you want, and you will make it happen. The only limitations you have, like Napoleon Hill said, are the ones that you set up in your mind or allow other people to set for you. So just start removing any limitations from your life, and you'll start seeing your whole life change around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And that, the whole purpose of us here is, just really to come together and, get a chance to relate to one another and to build off of each other's experiences. And I see a lot of, talking to Edwin, I see a lot of my personal experiences in Edwin's life as well, and, you're really not given a lot of self-esteem growing up, through this world, through, teachings, through your parents. And really it's a shame, because kids have the wildest imaginations, and the first thing that happens to us as children is our imagination gets shut down. Somebody is telling, "Oh no, you can't do that," or "That's impossible," or whatever things that you've heard throughout the course of your life that has been a defeatist mentality. And we are really trying to eliminate that and to get together with people and help them, show them that they could possibly grow and to build the future for themselves and their families. And this will go upon their kids, and so that we can start new cycles versus the same poverty cycles that have been with us for all these years. So with that said, last night I was preparing for this. I didn't really prepare too hard or to put too much thought into it. I've kind of said I would speak from my heart and let this develop into what it should be. But I looked up a couple definitions, and the first definition I looked up is mastermind. And the first definition is a person with outstanding intellect. The second definition is to plan or direct an ingenious and complex scheme or enterprise. So then I didn't know what the word enterprise meant, so I looked up enterprise, and it said a project of undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. The second definition is a business or company. And I also looked up the term intellect, just because I've used the term before, but I really didn't know the true meanings, and I've really started to do that a lot more, as well as look up the true meanings of a lot of these definitions and to really make it real. But intellect is the faculty of reasoning and understanding objectively, especially with regard to abstract or academic matters. And through this definition, intellect is something that we all can achieve, and that should instill a certain confidence in us as well. That, if we make intellect the goal, you don't have to be a scholar or a college person to be an intellectual person or an intelligent person. You could just be somebody that basically puts your mind to its test and try to always think bigger and try to make your ideas bigger, which is something very commendable and that I feel as though more people should do. From looking up intellect, it brought me to the word abstract. That's a term that gets used a lot in the art world, but what does it mean in practical terms? And the definition says an existing in thought or as an idea, but not having a physical or concrete existence. And that is powerful as well, because that's what our dreams are essentially. There are these thoughts that we have, and as Napoleon Hill always says, if you can believe it, then you can achieve it. In those words, that's probably a bad quote, but everyone knows it more directly.
No, I mean it's a great quote. It's so it actually, how is it? It's whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe, it can achieve.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
that's and it's on point. It's all correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you can't believe it, you can't achieve it. Just a matter of sending. Like you set your own standards. Whoever
right.
believes that they can't get somewhere. Like I forgot who it was. I think it was W. Clement Stone. He said whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way you are right.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a powerful thought.
Yeah, and it's like it's just a matter of just, I don't know, like I said, removing all those limitations. Like you said, people think that somebody who is intellectual, somebody has all this knowledge, general knowledge that Napoleon Hill talks about, but it's actually not. It's not. Like for example, a good example is he gave an example of Henry Ford. In the newspapers back when he was around, they called him an ignoramus. And he actually took the people to court because they were trying to say that he was a very ignorant man because he didn't have information that a lot of people saw as valuable at the time, which he really didn't need because he was very successful and he was, very rich at his point and everything, very wealthy. But one thing that like Napoleon Hill showed through that example is that the ability of you to be able to obtain information is more important than you actually retaining it in your mind. So same thing like we were talking about earlier. You said like how to become a genius and stuff like that. You don't actually have to be the genius. You just need somebody who is a genius who literally believes in your idea as much as you do. I'll give a good example, right? Henry Ford knew nothing about like cars, but yet he worked manufacturing cars and he was in that industry and became very successful. But when they did that, when the newspapers told him that he was ignorant, they took him to court. He's in court. And he's literally over here, and they're asking him all these questions from back then, like who was this president of the United States? I don't know if it was the sixth. I don't know which one it was, but they were asking him all these questions, and he didn't know the answers to them, because he dropped out of school, I believe, in the 6th grade, or he stopped going to school in the 6th grade. I don't know if he dropped out or he just stopped going, but point is, he didn't have all this information that everybody else had, but he was able to obtain his idea of success to become very wealthy and provide for him and his family, which is more important than the information that he had. He even said something very remarkable that literally shocked everybody that was there, because when they asked him all these questions, he said, I don't know the answers to your questions, but what I do know is I have a button in my office and I can push it and somebody could come in my office and give me the answers to all the things that you've said. And we hear this all the time. Like 50 Cent himself said, 50 Cent said, I didn't go to Harvard, but the people that work under me did. And that shows you right there that you don't have to retain all this information for you to be successful. Your ability to attain information is what's actually very important. And we're in the age of information.
Exactly.
We're literally in the age where literally you can just go on Google, find whatever answer to something you don't know how to do. You can look up a video on YouTube and literally figure out how to do something you never knew how to do.
Right.
And that's the most important part. And that's why you're going to see most of the entrepreneurs literally in our age. You're going to see most of the successful people in our age. And you're seeing it happening already. And it's all up to the people that are truly, really hungry and have a strong desire to go after what they want. And if you just have that belief, like you said, that belief in itself will give you the courage. That belief will give you the confidence. That belief will give you the strong desire that you need, like Napoleon Hill said, a burning desire for your attainment, for whatever it is you want to attain. And that's going to push you to physically start doing it, because it all starts in your mind. It all starts as you can say, I guess, an idea, and then that idea will build your feeling, and that feeling will take you to physically start acting upon it. And then you get, and one of the greatest things, actually, something that came to me was everything starts from within. The most important things, the most valuable things we have in life are actually free. Earl Nightingale said it. He said, because the things that are very important, like your mind, the way of thinking, the way you love, like whatever it is, either your family or children, whatever it is, like that is way more valuable than the things that everybody else puts value on. People are putting value on money when it's just a piece of paper. People are putting value on like TVs and everything. And none of these things really have value because they can all be replaced by the exact same model of the same thing, if not something even greater and newer. You know?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've learned is literally like the most valuable things have already been given to us.
Right.
The things that are gonna make us the most successful, they're already given to us. It's just us, we value the outside things more, so we never see the fruit of the things that we have within. And the moment that you start working of within, like spiritually, whatever it is, doesn't matter if it's religion, just you understanding who you are as a person and that there are no limitations in your life and that nothing can be impossible for you. And then I guess then you from there you can start working out into the physical, which will be your physical body, making sure that you're healthy, and then making sure you're taking care of yourself and everything, and then the things around you, and then lastly all the other stuff all the way outside your environment. But the most important thing starts from within and it works its way out. Yeah. And that's one of the things that I've learned, man. And the more I value myself, and the more and more I see myself as like valuable, the more I'm succeeding. Before I used to chase money and it's like it's running away from me, But it's not the money that I really wanted. It's the ability to have the freedom that I wanted. That's what I wanted. A lot of people focus on, they don't know what they want. They think they want like, oh man, if I just had this car, I would be very happy. Or if I just had this amount of money, I'll be happy. But it's not the things that they want. What they want is the feeling that those things will give them, or the ability to be able to help out their family, pay off their mother's house, and things like that.
Yeah.
That's really like what they want. They're looking after a feeling when you really think about it.
Right.
There was actually a man who gave a story. I don't remember his name, but he was talking about that there was this guy, and the guy was telling him, man, I really want to sell my house because he bought a new house and then he wanted to sell his house, and the reason he wanted to sell his house was because he basically needed the money to get another house or something like that. And this guy's like, man, I need to sell my house, this and that. And he, as he keeps thinking about all this stuff, and he's telling his friend, he realizes what he really didn't want is to sell his house. What he really want is just to have enough money to buy a new house.
Right.
So technically, you don't need to sell the first house you have because you never know what would be the best move. You never know that maybe actually renting that house will get you a better profit. And then and then there was a guy who comes into a store and he's telling these stories and I'm just listening and learning. I'm like, what's he trying to say and everything? There's a guy and he comes into a jewelry store and he's like, what do you want? He's like, I want a watch. He's like, well, what kind of watch? He's like, well, just something that's gonna say that I'm successful, that I'm this, I'm that, that's gonna make me feel like I'm like just somebody big or something, Right. And then the guy is like thinking about it. He's like, so what you really want, it might not even be jewelry. You might not even want something physical. You just really just want the feeling to feel like you're successful.
Right.
But you feel like by you wearing this thing, it's going to make you feel like you're successful because other people are going to look at you in a special way. But what he really wanted is for people to look at him in that special way, not really the thing that he's trying to buy. So most of the time, I realize we really don't know what we want until we actually start looking deep down and figuring out why is it that we're going after this one particular item to buy, or why is it that we're going after just whatever it is, our goal, even our goals, why are we going after our goal? And the more you start going within and looking deep within of why you want it, it turns out you don't even actually want that thing. You just want the ability to do that thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's one of the most amazing things that I've learned. And honestly, just that's it, man. Just focus on what you want, go after it, and don't worry about how you're going to get there. Like I said, the in-betweens don't matter. Just look at the end goal and look at where you're from. Like if you're departing whatever position you're in life, you're leaving right there and you're going to end up wherever it is you want to go. And that's it. Because when you start worrying about the in-betweens, that's when you start doubting yourself, you start losing confidence, and then that loss of confidence produces produces no action.
Right.
And then you never go act upon it because now you're in fear, thinking that you can't make it happen. But as you just focus on what you want and look at it like you want it now, and you have it now, that's gonna build the confidence, and you're gonna go after it, and you'll meet the right people. You'll meet the right, like I tell you, you get the right books to read, all that. All that matters is just know I'm here and I want to go there. Yeah.
Right. And that comes back to back to the definitions I was going through, these abstract ideas. Literally anybody is able to come up with these ideas. Nobody, you don't have to be some special type of person. You don't have to be a genius, or you don't have to be the most educated person in the world. All you have to do is have to be someone that has vision and believes in your vision, and these things can be possible. This mastermind group was thought of 2-3 weeks ago, and here we are for our first meeting. And I know that we will have future meetings, and the mastermind group will grow the way that I'm wanting it to grow in this whole plan or this grand scheme of things. So essentially, the purpose for this group, I feel like, is going to be, first of all, as far as the structure goes, I think this is something that we would like to make nonprofit. Just for everybody to know, this is something that we will be talking about as we get into greater numbers, because I want this not to be my group, but I want this to be everybody's group. I want this to be a group that represents views and people's understanding of really every individual that's involved with it. And so as of now, my thought is going towards it being a nonprofit organization. And the reason that is so we could, one, raise money to hold certain events. I'm thinking along the lines of having, maybe annually or biannually or semi-annually, a public speaker of some sort that we bring them in to, hold, conferences and things of that nature, or if we choose to meet at a nice restaurant, to be around more wealth and things of that nature, so that we can attract more of these things. And also, I would like to do a lot of, with this group, I'd like to do a lot of community efforts. I would like to, build things that would benefit the community and the generations coming behind us, whether it's music studios, whether it's, recreational parks and community centers. I would like to do neighborhood cleanups of some of these impoverished areas, and really to get a sense of a sense of pride in one's hometown, or where one's from, versus, where basically, these areas a lot of them are decaying, and they don't really have to be that way. They could be, flourishing, prominent places, which they once were, before things like crack was introduced to their neighborhoods, or whatever negativity was introduced into their area. And so this is really the vision that I have for it. And this kind of a group, my ultimate goal is to make 1 million masterminds, 1 million individual masterminds, and these are people that are able to conceive plans and carry out their plans. And this, I believe, in my opinion, will make for a better world, because there are 7 billion people on the earth. Everybody has this ability. Everybody has this ability to conceptualize these things and then to make them happen. We don't necessarily need everybody to do this. If everybody would do it, that would be even better. You know what I mean? But I think 1 million masterminds, worldwide, in my mind, is a good number to create change for the world, and also to create leaders. And that's what we don't have enough of in this world today. We don't have enough leaders and people willing to put their dreams on the line and put their goals on the line to change the world and make it a better place. If we were to continue on the path that we're on right now, we are a somewhat advanced society, But even last night, I was having, visions of being able to, travel at the speed of light, and I was starting to come up with, how I could possibly, do that, and Thomas Edison, which led me to start to look into Thomas Edison. He's already, he already started to, I'm sorry, not Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein. And, he already, had these questions, what I mean? And he sought out the answers. And, he literally, from what I gathered, he literally, came up with, these speeds, and these different laws through his mind's power, and, that is very powerful, and that is something that we all can achieve. And so I would like to impart each person with these abilities.
Yeah. And what you said is really, really important. We already have the most important thing that we need, and that's our mind. If you have your mind, then you can literally have the whole world if you really think about it. Just because Napoleon Hill gave a story about a man, and something happened to him that he ended up becoming like crippled or something like that, and he was like paralyzed. His whole body was paralyzed, but he still had his mind, and he was able to speak still. And once you have your mind, you can literally attain the things that you want, because your mind, the ideas that you have, are worth more than the things that we're putting our mindset. And think about it, right? Facebook was an idea in Mark Zuckerberg's head before it became a physical app or a physical thing. I mean, and then an application that everybody's using now on their phones, but it was an idea. At that moment when he had it, it was just an idea in his head, something he probably wrote down like in a journal or something. He said, "Oh man, this is a really great idea," and that idea now is worth billions of dollars. Yeah. So your ideas are actually worth more than what you're looking at around. Like it's worth more than all these things that we're seeing now, even all these houses all around here and this whole land and stuff. But it's crazy because a lot of people don't go after their ideas because they don't believe they have the ability to make it happen. But like I told you, one of my friends read it in a book. He said, the creature that comes up with whatever, that's able to imagine it, it's able to make it happen. They have the ability to make it happen. So if your mind is able to believe it, it's like Napoleon Hill. Same thing Napoleon Hill said, if you can believe it, you can achieve it, like you said. Exactly. Like, it's just a matter of, like, going after it. Right. And doesn't matter how, like you're just gonna make it happen. But just you need to have a strong burning desire, like Napoleon Hill said, to make that idea happen and come to pass. Absolutely. And it will. Just by literally having that strong desire. That strong desire is gonna push you to go to physically make it happen. Absolutely. Yeah. But that's great, man. That's great, because the vision that you were talking about, it's exactly what I've been. See, like I told you, man, there's no such thing. I don't believe in coincidence, man. No. I've been thinking about literally like having this, like a group where we can all just talk and then grow and succeed, because that's very important if you want to become successful. You need to be surrounding yourself. So like you say, you want to become a nonprofit organization, which is great. You say you want to be around other successful people, and that's a really good key on how to succeed. One of the guys who I met, his name is James Gist. I don't know if you know who he is. He's actually he's a famous basketball player in Greece. He's actually really good. One time he came to Best Buy when I was in Germantown, the Germantown Best Buy. I was working there. He comes in the store and everybody's going crazy. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, that's James Gist." And I don't even know who the guy is, right? No, for real. And then I don't know who the guy is, but everybody's making a big deal about this guy coming in, and he's buying a good amount of things and everything, and the next thing you know, I see him like this guy is obviously successful and wealthy and everything, but like you have the general manager coming here just because this guy that everybody knows comes in, he gives him a free Apple TV. I'm like, man, this guy like it's pretty cool, seeing all this, and then like the weird thing is I never knew if I was gonna see that guy again or anything, but like one thing that I learned after I saw that, I'm like, man, from now on, every time I meet somebody who's very successful or something like that, I'm gonna like just humble myself and I'm gonna ask him, hey, what can I do to succeed? What can I do to attract more success into my life? And every single person that I met since then that I believe is more successful than me, or that I see that is more successful than me, I humble myself and I ask him. And the funny thing is, that idea itself, like I came up with it, and then he and the same guy told me the same thing. So after that, I was working at Nissan in Germantown selling cars, right? And I see him again. I see him and his girl, and then they come in to like service one of their cars. And as they do that, like I go up to him. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna miss this opportunity again. I ask him. I'm like, yo, hey, what can I do to be more successful, to attract more success into my life? And he starts telling me, listen, he's like surround yourself with people that are more successful than you. That's what he said. And then he said, and then he said, and and ask them questions. And if they're really successful, they're truly successful, they won't think that they know it, or they won't think that, they will actually genuinely help you out and they will answer your questions. That's what he told me, right? And the weird thing is, before he told me that, one of my friends had told me he read in a book that your average income is the average of the 5 closest people that are in your inner circle. That's what he said.
Right.
And he's over here telling me, hey, surround yourself with people who are more successful than you. And once you feel you attain their level of success, move on to a next group that's more successful than them.
Right.
And keep doing that until you feel you're satisfied and comfortable of your idea of success.
Right.
And ever since he told me that, I've been doing that. I've just been meeting people who are way more successful than me. Like I've met millionaires. Like I actually went to a conference in Philly down for like a convention, and I saw Bob Proctor, which is the guy from the movie The Secret, The Law of Attraction. And I was there, and I got to sit with some of his colleagues, and one of the guys that was there with him was talking to me, and he was making $100,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of money.
Right.
You're like, what the heck? That's a lot of money. Yeah. And then he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, to the average person, it is.
It's all in perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And then he bluntly told me, he's like, listen, he quoted that same quote I quoted earlier. He said the only limitations you have are the ones that you set up in your mind. Absolutely. Or you allow other people to set for you. So because you believe what I'm making is too much, you'll never attain my level of success. That's exactly how he told me flat out. And I felt like crap. I was like, damn, man, this guy just put me down. But then, he encouraged me right after. He's like, listen, I was like, look, it's all a matter of perspective, just like you said. He said, you think what I'm making is a lot. But think about this. He said, Warren Buffett in 2013 made $31 million a day.
Wow.
Now you compare $31 million a day with $100,000 a month. It's like a huge difference, man. It's like almost like no comparison, And that's when I realized, and then I heard other things, like money is just perspective, like, just like you don't care about Monopoly money until you actually start playing the game. Same thing, you don't care about, like, this physical money until you actually start to need it to provide for your car, provide for your house, provide for the things, clothes, whatever it is you need. But then that's when you start caring about it. And the key to attaining success that I've noticed is you got to stop caring about those things and care about the things that matter most, which is, like I said, your ideas, your minds, because your ideas create wealth. Right. Just like I told you that what happened to me when I was learning all these things, I moved up in Best Buy really quick. And next thing you know, like I'm here, and across the store there's another store of a guy who sells perfumes and colognes, and nobody's coming into his store. And out of nowhere, an idea comes into my mind. I go up to him, tell him that you'll bring him 15 people and he'll give you $60 cash. So I tell the guy, hey, give me $60 cash, I'll bring you 15 people. And the guy gets so excited, and I'm excited. I'm like, man, this guy, he's going to give me the money, And then he takes out the money, and I go, and in 30 minutes, I bring in 15 people. So I made $60 in 30 minutes cash. And that's when I realized my ideas can create the wealth that I want. Because when I first started at Best Buy, I started at $10 an hour. And it would have taken me 6 hours of my life, which is more important, right? Because my time is very valuable now that I'm understanding it. It would have taken me 6 hours of my life to make that money. And I just did it in 30 minutes. And on top of that, it would have been taxed, so I wouldn't even got the full $60. Yeah. But that's when I realized, man, like your ideas create your wealth. Your mindset is the most important thing. If you can change your mindset, you can change your whole world, your whole reality as you look at it right now. And then and literally, like, that made me think a lot. Like, that made me think about, man, like, I just need to, as soon as I come up with an idea, I need to go after it. Because if my mind, like I told you, the creature that comes up, that can imagine it, it's able to make it happen. And that's it. It's just a matter of believing in yourself, because you are the most important thing. Your mindset, the way you think, that's the most important thing. Everything else is going to come, but you have to put the most value on yourself, on your mind, like on you, Because if you start putting value on other things, you start putting less value in yourself. I guarantee you there's somebody out there right now that's going to listen to this, right? And they're going to be like, man, they probably are valuing this house that's worth $1 million more than their own life or something like that. Or they're valuing, but they all know deep down inside, hold on, I'm worth everything that I have. I'm worth it. And it's just a matter of setting higher goals, and then you start attaining higher things, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And to kind of go back, you said something interesting about Facebook and how it was, just this guy's idea. And you even in that you have different perspectives, because you have some people that might look at the negatives that come along with Facebook. There's people that are scamming people. There's a security risk and things like that. But what a lot of people fail to realize is the good that was created when Mark Zuckerberg created this. The world is a much more connected place as a result of it. And that's just one instance of someone coming up with an idea. The whole idea of even internet, this invisible thing that a lot of us really don't see and fail to understand, is something that has made the world a smaller place. And now you have it to where people can network with people in the Philippines or India or Africa or Europe or whatever the case may be, just to make goals happen and to plan things and to get to the next level. And this is really what we want to achieve in our goals. So some of the principles of this group, I thought it might be best to fashion some of these off of Napoleon Hill's 16 laws of success. And some of these laws, and I highly recommend reading that book. I have to get a physical copy myself. I listened to it audio for the first time 2 or 3 days ago. Some of these principles are things such as having a definitive purpose, having self-confidence, initiative and leadership, having an imagination, taking action, having a level of enthusiasm, self-control, a habit of performing more service than paid for, accurate thought, concentration, tolerance, failure, cooperation, a habit of saving, and an attractive personality. And these are all things that embody what success is. And these are things that we can achieve through self-discipline and through concentrated efforts and surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals that are trying to make these things goals for themselves as well.
Definitely. It's all a matter of perspective and life just in general. Like, think about it. One thing I was thinking about was, imagine, right? Like, the way we, obviously, if you're coming from a place that you have no money and everything like that, and then if you were to live the lifestyle of a billionaire, you would think that they're crazy because of the way they spend money,
Yeah.
Like, let's say, think about it, right? Like, if I was a billionaire right now, and let's say I was with this girl, and then it was our anniversary, I would literally rent out like a whole restaurant just for me and her.
Yep.
Probably spend like $100,000 in one night just so that me and her can have a great time and But if you're a billionaire, that's like $100,000 is not that much, to you. But for other people, like if somebody, you got a regular, whoever it is, regular person looks at it, and you tell them that story. If you were friends with a billionaire and a billionaire told you, yo, man, I just took my girl out, for our anniversary. I spent $100,000 in one night. Be like, well, you're crazy. Like, why would you spend that amount of money?
That money could go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Blah.
That's it. But it's perspective in his mind, because he has such a higher level, higher level and way of thinking that he thinks, what do you mean $100,000 is nothing, But this person is like, that's too much, But it's all about how you view it. If you believe it's always too much, then you're never gonna attain it because it's too much. You're never gonna get there because it's too much.
Right.
And it's just about changing your mindset to start believing that you can attain that amount of money. You can achieve all your goals and dreams in life.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the most important thing, just going after what makes you very happy, and then helping other people succeed and help them get to where they want to get to in life. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and so this is really powerful stuff, and just the energy that I'm feeling from being here with having this conversation, is really encouraging, and it makes me even more confident in the process of success and achieving wealth and achieving goals. So right now, I kind of would like to ask Edwin, on a personal level, kind of what things he's working on right now, and what are some of his goals, if he doesn't mind sharing some of them, and I'll talk about some of mine as well.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm working on, one of my friends who I used to work with, he was my general manager at Comcast, right? through a company called Empire Elite. We were like last minute door-to-door salesman, literally just switching people from Verizon, DirecTV, and Dish Network. And that was probably one of the best opportunity I've had at the age I was like 22 years old or something like that. And it was so simple, man. Like all I had to do is just tell people, hey, you should switch, and I'll help you out, this and that. I was making $1,000 a week, only working 9 hours a week.
Oh,
3
nice.
days out of the week,
that's
3
real good.
hours each day. Exactly, right? So I thought about that guy, because then after that, I was managing a flooring company, and I wasn't making as much money. But I'm like, what happened? How is it that I get to this level of success, that I'm very successful at a very young age, and now, like, I'm making way less than that. I'm literally making like half of that in a week. It's still pretty good, but it's not like, what I prefer to do.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, like, I don't believe in coincidence. Like I tell you, I'm thinking about the guy. I'm like, man, I wonder what he's up to, because he had the mindset I have now. So because he has this mindset, he's probably doing way more better now, right? And I was right. He literally, like, I see a suggestion right when I'm thinking about this guy that I haven't seen in years. I have no way of contacting this guy. I see a Facebook suggestion pops up to add him. I add him, and the same thing. I add him, and then, because I don't believe in coincidence, I humble myself and I tell this guy, hey, listen, I'm like, I remember you gave me one of the best opportunities in my life at the time. I'm like, whatever you're involved in, let me know. I definitely want to link up with you, and I want to, like, work on whatever it is you're working on. And then he calls me back up. He asked for my number. He calls me back up, and then he ended up having his own insurance firm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he said that way the idea came up to him. He said that he was flipping the channels, and Obama was almost on, like, every channel. He's like, I wonder what's going on. What does he have to say? And Obama starts talking about healthcare and how it's going to be mandatory for you to have, like, healthcare. And if you don't, you're going to have to pay a fine at the end of the year. So, like, that's when he comes up with this idea. I'm going to start my own health insurance firm. And he ends up making a lot of money now. Now he makes up residual income from that, which money he doesn't have to work for anymore. Yeah. Money is working for itself. He set people in position to look after the buildings and everything, and all he does is just collects his paycheck while he's on vacation, And same thing, he owns a bar that also pays him residual income down in Baltimore. And all this happened throughout the whole period. I haven't seen him for like 4 years, right? 3 to 4 years I haven't seen him, and then he got involved in a third company, which is what I'm doing with him, and he got partnerships through, like, big name companies like Target, Best Buy, Walmart, and all it is literally, instead of you going to shopping in Walmart, you can still get it from Walmart. You just go through this website, and you purchase all your stuff there, and for using that website, you get 2 to 50% off on every purchase. And this is a business that literally is like, it's beneficial because, one, it's going to help the economy. Two, it's helping people save money. So now, instead of you paying like $500 a month on groceries, now you're only paying $250.
Right.
You're saving money. It's like a no-brainer. So the moment he told me about this opportunity, I didn't just want to be a customer, and to be a customer is free, which is the most important thing to me, because, like, man, they're really helping people out. But I'm like, I want to be a business partner. I want to know how to do what you're doing. So I got involved in it. We've been working on it together. Now I quit my job. I was managing a flooring company down in Shady Grove. Quit my job, and I've been living happily ever since. Just literally living life as it goes, going wherever I'm going, I'm literally having a conversation with somebody, and it has nothing to do with business, just how you doing, like, what's your passion, what do you enjoy doing out of life, and somehow everything connects, and now my business is expanding like that, just by meeting people and having amazing conversations, and my second business that I'm about to start, I already bought the domain name for it. It's going to be called theinformationmovement.com. And that is literally what we're doing here today. It's just teaching people these principles, like Napoleon Hill, like quotes, like, the only limitations you have are the ones that you set up in your mind, or allow other people to set for you. And then just teaching them to become successful and helping them get there. Right. And all this I've been doing for a long time. I've just been, like, literally learning, and everything that I've learned, I always taught people for free, right? And I'm very passionate about this, and this is why this, out of all, like, both of the businesses, this is gonna be my favorite one, because it's something I already enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy it, dude, like, with a passion and everything. But now, like they're like, if you want to hear it, you know, you're gonna have to come to my site,
Right.
and you're gonna purchase programs that are gonna help you out and everything. But before, I was giving it to a lot of my friends for free, and they didn't want to hear it. They're like, "Oh man, nah, it's not for me."
They don't value.
Yeah, and the funny thing is now that they've seen my life change because of me applying these principles, now they want to hear everything I had to say. Wait, wait, you're going where? You're doing this, you're doing that. Now they want to get connected, and now it's like you had the opportunity.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and that shows you right there that literally you have opportunities in life every day that we're rejecting, and we just don't know it. We just like, we don't even bother, you know? So now that they want to learn these things, now it's like, oh, now you have to go through my site.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, and the people that I've helped out for free, their life changed too. Like there was one of my friends, so he wasn't born here, so he thought the best that he could do is make $7.25 an hour at a McDonald's. He started applying these principles, spent 2 weeks with me, and I've been changing his mindset, telling him to value himself more than he, you know, all this stuff. And now he's making $460 a week, working Monday through Friday from 7 to 4, and off on the weekends.
Nice.
Another friend of mine was working as a server at this restaurant called Pika, right? She was there, a hostess at Pika, and then she was doing that for a while. And then I told her, look, man, like, you know some of the things I know, but let me teach you these things that I've learned that are like very effective. And she went from there to work at a dealership, making $8.25, and now she's making $18.50
Wow.
an hour. You know, and it's all a matter of just changing your mindset, and it would change your lifestyle. It would change whatever it is. Whether if you want to become very successful in a job, very successful in life and business, whatever area in life you want to become successful, you just have to change your mindset in that area, and that's what these teachings do. And that's why I'm very excited for it. And then there was another person too, which was actually one of her friends who actually worked there too. And she's only been here for like 6 months, so she doesn't know English that well and everything, you know. And she sees these limitations, like, oh man, no, I don't have opportunities because I don't speak English. So who's gonna hire me without like a degree and all this? I'm like, look, the opportunities are out there. It's just a matter of you believing in yourself, and then you're gonna bring the opportunities to you. Next thing you know, she listens to what I have to say. She's learning all these things, and then she gets an opportunity. She gets an opportunity through a friend, and it's like, hey, you're gonna be a caregiver. All you have to do, and it's specifically Spanish speaking only. Listen to that, right?
Right.
And that's exactly her limitation that she thought was a limitation. You know, and now she's making $7.50 a week, Monday through Friday again, you know, and off on the weekends. And it's all because, and going from $8.25, same thing, to now $7.50 a week. That's a huge difference,
That's drastic
you know.
change, yeah.
And it's like, it's a matter of changing your mindset. It would change your lifestyle. It would change your world. Like when I started adding these principles in my life, when I was working at Best Buy, the way I would view work was different. I looked at that store like it was my store. Like I wasn't just an employee,
Right.
not like, you know, what my employee number 10868 whatever, you know. I wasn't just that employee. I was the owner of the company of that store. That's how I looked at it. And as I kept walking like that, I kept moving up there quick. I got raises faster, got like literally like moving from one position to another, from a different locations too, where I felt more comfortable that I wanted. And that's what it's about. It's about like just changing your mindset, and it will change everything around you. Because the only reason you're at where you're at is because you're used to looking at things a certain way. Maybe because you were not fortunate enough to come like through a really great area, you know. But if you start changing your mindset, surrounding yourself with the right people that can get you there, you will succeed. There's no question about it. I mean, you've seen people do it all the time. Like there's people that have literally like come from nowhere. I know people who have been homeless, and that's one of my other visions too, is to start an organization where literally I take all these homeless people and I start teaching them these things for free, obviously, and then literally be helping them become very successful, right? Imagine that. They're coming from like having nothing, because before I used to go out to feed the homeless in DC. I used to go out like every Saturday morning, and out like, you know, like out of my pocket and stuff. Like I would go out and I just make sandwiches with some of my friends, and then we would go out to eat, and then like after, you know, because you feel more satisfied when you eat after you fed somebody else,
Right.
you know. And then we just go out and then talk to them and everything. But then like I was always worried. You know, I was like, man, but who's gonna feed them tomorrow? Who's gonna? I mean, I'm only feeding them once, a week. But who's gonna feed them? All the whole time I'm not here.
Right.
And then that's when my vision became bigger. And then that's when I remembered like a quote that I heard is, if you give a man a fish, he'll thank you for the day. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll thank you for a lifetime.
Exactly.
So the goal now is literally not just to feed them, but to teach them all these successful principles so that they can be successful. And next thing you know, you're gonna see people who are homeless literally coming from like having no degree, some of them, and they're gonna have better positions, better jobs than somebody who has a degree.
Right.
Somebody who's now is $60,000 in debt because of that degree or something. And that's what you're gonna see, and that's my goal. And then that's gonna make the world just a better place, because if that can happen with them, then in turn they're gonna do the same thing for somebody else. It's gonna be like a chain reaction. They're gonna be blessed and helped, and then they're gonna do the same for somebody else, and it's just gonna grow. And it's like you said, the whole 1 million like masterminds, that's perfect, dude. Because if you can actually generally get people who want to succeed and actually help this world become a better place, then it will. Like Steve Jobs said, those who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world eventually do.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of you being that crazy one and believing that you can change the world, and you will.
Yeah. And like, I'm literally getting chills here, just because the fact that, here you have your whole vision and things of that nature. Here you have mine, and our paths cross. Like I hadn't seen anything related to your profile on Facebook come up, for a while, and the first thing I see is, I'm quitting my job, and I'm like, wow, that's admirable. I got to talk to this guy, you know what I mean? And now here we are, and we have common goals and we have common interests, and it's not a coincidence, it's not, an accident, it's just the fact that this is how the universe attracts each other to one another, and we could literally create this on a massive scale. It doesn't have to be 2 people in a room. It doesn't have to be 5 people in a room. It could be 100,000 people across a country. It could be 1 million people across the entire world, and grow from there. And really, the best part about this type of organization is the social benefit of it, and 2. No world government can stop this, because every individual from this group will have a mind of their own, and through that mind of their own, their purpose cannot be stopped. If you kill that individual, or you incarcerate that individual for exercising that purpose, then there will be somebody else there to either pick up their slack or continue a purpose somewhat similar, or something that is going to keep life moving in a progressive fashion. So this is really great that we are having this group. As far as myself, my goals have been, this really has been a secondary goal, this mastermind group. But I'm starting to realize, this might be my life's calling, because growing up, you kind of have these feelings. You say, okay, I feel like I'm supposed to be great, but I don't know what. When I was a person that have many talents, I was a kid in class that the teacher always said I had potential. Well, potential don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Potential is, saying that you could possibly do something. You know what I mean? But I never had that one gift. I'm talented in drawing. I was decent at athletics. I had the ability to rap and to entertain people and things of that nature. And so, but I never, doing those things, I never felt like those were my purpose. I never felt like those were my callings. And so, I like I said, I started working on this a few weeks ago. But before then, what I've been trying to work on is really a fashion consulting business. My goal is to, one, make the cost of quality clothing cheaper for everyone worldwide, and also to make sure that, well, a lot of people have access to clothing, at a lower cost, and that people could be more fashionable and to dress better, and some people might have some sort of ego about that and say, oh, I can do it myself. Well, there's a lot of guys out there and females where, they would like to look better. They would like to, look like, a president, or they would like to look like somebody important, or, maybe their favorite rock star, or whoever the case may be, or maybe they just want a sense of identity through their own personal style. And that is something that I am trying to develop and help people with, and so I'm in the beginning phases of that. I'm really trying to build an organization, and that's really what I've come to understand about things is you can accomplish greater things through creating an organization and finding the people with specialized knowledge and specialized skills and pick up on where you are as far as your weaknesses and things like that. And I've been doing a lot of self-evaluation and analyzing what I'm not good at and trying to surround myself with those people. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. We haven't really started making any significant amounts of money, but I know that it's coming and I know that it's nearby. And eventually these things are going to come to us. So my goal, my financial goal for my personal self is by the time I'm 35, I would like to have made $100 million. Some people might say, "Oh, that's too much," or "You're crazy." But somebody, like Evan was saying, in perspective, somebody may say, "Oh, you can do better than that." That might be too little. So, but for me, I feel like $100 million is a good goal for myself, and I look forward to achieving that and the process that goes along with it.
Definitely, man. You just have to look at your goals and know that you're gonna get there. Like this hat, right? So the way I came up with this, so Floyd Mayweather has something similar, except it's very different. I had to make sure because of the copyrights and stuff like that. He has a $sign, a 1, and then an M, which stands for 1 million. And I came up with this idea for this hat, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to do it. Like I have to. I don't know why. It just so I put 1 trillion.
Right.
I'm like, why be a billionaire? Like and that's
exactly.
what I put. And literally, I only did it just because of the things that I've learned. That if when you look at your goal, actually one of the managers at Best Buy even confirmed it. He said it's already been proven scientifically that when you're looking at a goal every single day, the chances of you actually achieving that goal go up. So, for example, you said 100 million by the age of 35. Put 100 million. Put the date. As a matter of fact, this is what I was gonna read, which is what when Napoleon. This is what Napoleon Hill said. Napoleon Hill like came up with a 6-step process. I don't know if you read it yet.
I've been following it.
And I literally wrote everything down he said word for word. And I didn't know why. No, but I didn't know why. I didn't know why I wrote it down at the time, like there and like you said, there's a reason for everything. There's no such things as coincidence. And maybe this is why I wrote it down. But he calls it the 6 steps to success. And the first one is fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire.
Right.
Must be a definite to the amount. There is a psychological reason for definiteness. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for your desire. So, for example, my thing that I always want to give is I want to give the best of myself every day. So whether it's to serve somebody, if I see somebody who's homeless, I will go out and help them out. I will like buy them a meal, have a conversation with them to make their day brighter, or whether it's a friend who calls me that needs help, I will go and extend my arm, as much as I can. And then so that's the first one. And then he said there's a psychological reason for it. The second one, like he said, is to determine exactly what you intend to give in return for your money, your desire. And they said there is no such reality as something for nothing.
Right.
Everything has a price. Doesn't matter what it is. And then number 3, he said establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. So you already said your birthday. You put just your birthday there, and then and that's it. And then you put the amount of money, and you look at it, and you like I had something I would recite every day. I would say, you know what, I will make this amount by here, and in return I give more of myself to serve. That's what I would say, And when you start looking at your goals, the reason you will succeed, it makes sense. Think about it, right? You will succeed because now when you go to any job, whatever it is you work, you're not looking at that paycheck anymore. You're looking at your goals. So you're going to work even harder. You're going to go the extra mile, like Napoleon Hill says, because you're not working for that paycheck. You're working for your goals. And then you're going to start seeing money coming up from different sources outside of your job. You'll see somebody come up to you like, hey, man, here's $100 for something you helped me out a long time ago. I was like, what? I didn't know. No, for real, this happened. And I'm like, and you don't notice it, but the moment you start just going the extra mile in everything you do, whether it's at work, at home, wherever it is, you'll start receiving more out of life. And then And then number 4 is create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once whether you're ready or not to put this plan into action, right? Write out a clear, concise statement from steps 1 through 4. And that was the one thing that we'll read every day. And then he said number 6 is read your statement out loud twice daily. So once just before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be money. It could be like a trip to Hawaii or something like that. Whatever it is that you want, just put those 6 steps into action and you will succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's basically some of the same things that I've been doing. You know, I did the exact same thing that you did. Is I wrote down those 6 steps. And so I've only been doing it for a week now. Probably not even a whole week. So I haven't really seen it take effect into my life. But I'm confident in this process, and I know that it's going to bring me the things that I desire. And that's literally what it's all about. The line of work that I do right now, and I got into it through networking, is I do building automation, and I do it for Honeywell. And it's what I set out to do. As far as, well, I didn't know I was going to get into the automation side. I always said I was just going to do HVAC with the intentions to own my own heating and air conditioning business. But my exposure to it has made me realize I'm not necessarily crazy about this heating and air conditioning, but the challenges that I had to come through with dealing with the automation field has given me a lot of confidence in myself, and it's made me realize that there is a lot of things that I'm capable of doing and accomplishing. And being in the automation field, it made me realize that all the manual labor jobs that we have as people can be replaced by technology, and that is an unfortunate situation. And because these companies, they are going to continue to grow. They are not going to say, okay, what is the social impact that we have on these people? They don't really care about the wealth gap. They just kind of care about their personal pockets and their own goals and their agendas, and that's kind of understandable. But, and the mass majority of people don't really see, that 5 years from now, there may not be any jobs at Giant. There may be maybe 1 or 2 customer service jobs and, maybe a technician taking care of the machines, a lot of people don't see that, how many jobs have been lost to, automation in general. They're even talking about Uber being able to use cars that remote control themselves, so they don't have to depend on drivers, So basically, society has to start preparing itself for these changes and has to start building businesses to really create wealth for themselves and to make money. And that's really what it comes down to this group. We're kind of running low on time. It's 2:18 now, and we have till 2:30. So right now, what I want to do is take the time to, at the end of each session, my plan is for us to, speak on a personal goal that we have to accomplish in the next month. You're welcome to share if you would feel like it. You don't have to, but I'm sure that it will help. Talking about this specific goal, and for myself, my specific goal for this next month until we meet in the first week of the first Saturday of next month is to, by that time, have my business officially registered, have my official business bank account set up, and all those good things. I haven't been able to accomplish that just yet due to scheduling things, but I have the time now, and so that is what I would like to have accomplished by our first meeting next month.
All right. And as for me, just have that website finished and ready. That way people could just start going there and then start learning. And then, I don't know, just expanding it at the same time. Just as I keep meeting people now, it's just another thing that I could tell them, hey, you know what, you should check out this. Because if you enjoy what we're talking about now, you're going to love going to the website and just hearing it all, Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. And aside from that, I do sell cars still. Like, I sell cars from for Criswell.
Nice.
So, the money's there. It's just the opportunities are always there. It's just a matter of you, stop looking at the glass as half empty.
Yeah.
Look at it as half full.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much it.
Okay. Well, I thank Edwin, and I thank you for those who at least responded to the invitation on Facebook. Hopefully, we get a chance to meet next month, and I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback. And feel free to let's start a conversation of how we can make this group better and what we could do to help us grow. And if you know somebody that is interested in looking to better themselves and has a personal positive outlook about life and really wants to maximize their opportunities, feel free to invite them to this group, and so we could really just build up this energy. Me and Edwin have had an amazing conversation here today, and I hope you have benefited from it by listening to this. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yep, definitely.